Greetings and salutations, YouTubers. This is Zillafan85, back today with my latest video, my latest figure review. Today, as part of the tradition for me for the, during the month of October, a little bit of a spooky review for you. Today we're going to go ahead and look at my Jakks Pacific Frankenstein Monster figure. Oh yeah, I was actually really stoked when I got a hold of this thing. This, of course, again, by the company Jakks Pacific. They make a lot of, various types of figures. I know a lot of people were familiar with their Dragon Ball figures, which I have a bunch of those as well. Some of those were hit and miss. Jakks Pacific tends to be kind of hit and miss. Some of their stuff, though, is pretty good. I have some of their World and Nintendo figures, which I do like as well. I was really delightfully surprised, though, to see this figure, and this is not the only, of the Universal monsters that they released. They actually released a trilogy of figures, three different ones. So they, of course, the Frankenstein Monster, and they also released Dracula and the Wolfman, and I do have all three of the figures, and they all come with their own display bases, and, etc., etc. So, in the future, I will plan to review Dracula and the Wolfman. Probably won't be till, I'm thinking it'll probably be like next October, when I do more of my horror videos. But, but I figured I would start with this one, A, because the Frankenstein Monster is my favorite of the Universal Monster, creatures, and B, because I have not seen in my travels here on YouTube, I should say, I have not seen any reviews of this guy. I have seen, a review or two each on Dracula and the Wolfman from Jakks Pacific, but I have not seen any for the Frankenstein Monster. And this particular incarnation is from Bride of Frankenstein, during that scene when he was locked in the dungeon after they chained him up. So they actually call this, when you get the if you were to look this up, it would be under, Jakks Pacific Universal Monsters Bride of Frankenstein. So, but for the purposes of the review, I'm titling it Frankenstein Monster, because it's not the bride, it's the monster himself. So, but they're just using the movie title. So I just kind of want to elaborate on that. I do love Bride of Frankenstein as a film. Again, I love the classic Universal monsters. If any of you have followed along with me in the past, just all the classic Universal monster movies. I really am a big fan of those. So definitely glad to have these. I have a couple of the Diamond Select figures as well. The creature from the Black Lagoon, which is probably my second favorite of the Universal monsters. And I also have a couple renditions of the Diamond Select Mummy. So again, all that stuff in the future during, future horror video outings for me, I will plan to review those. But for today, and as Halloween is coming up, we're going to go ahead and jump into this guy. So I'm actually going to start with the display base here. So I'm actually going to remove him because I'll need to take a look at him anyway. This is going to be a little bit tricky, and I do all my videos on one take, folks, so do bear with me. I do apologize. But I'm going to remove him. Thankfully, he came off fairly easily. So I'll stand him up for the time being. And yeah, he stands fairly well on his own, as you can see. But he bounces because of his big, boots and all that. So, anyways, though, as you can see for the display base itself, so paint here, for the upper part of the chair, a nice, various shadings of brown, as you guys can see, for the wood. And it really is textured well. Yeah, a little bit of an eyesore with the screws, but not too big of a deal. There is a reason for it. It's actually a gimmick that he has, which I'll go over a little bit later in the review. But anyway, so nice browns for the chair. Then you've got this sort of stone gray for the stone part for the seat. And then, of course, the base where the dungeon would be. Then a darker, deeper gray, or almost like a gunmetal color, where the chain links connect into the stone at the base. So really nice. And then, of course, the gray, or the chain color here, and these chains are actually metal, they're not plastic. So very cool. You can hear the ting to them, and again more of that deep gunmetal color almost for the where the cuffs are for his hands. So it looks really, really cool, and really nice detailing on the chair as well. So you can see all ingrained, all the wood on the front and the back. Doing the best I can to capture all this for you guys, so I hope that you can see it well enough. I want to try to keep the chair somewhat in view as well while I'm doing this. So, but anyway, so really, really nice texturing here for the wood. Really looks good. Again, all the stone texturing as well for the rest of it. Really, really looks good. Looks like it's pulled right out of the movie, to be honest with you. I'm really, really impressed with this. You know, and for something for Jakks Pacific, that is just wow. I mean, really. I mean, in my point of view, on the bottom, you know, just sort of nothing doing here because it's just, you know, it's got some legal jargon and it's just not really sculpted or anything there. But you know, you're not having it like that anyway, so you're gonna have it displayed like that upright. And again, so just looking all around, really nice done, nicely done here. You can see some steps and all that leading up to the chair. Really, really looks cool. The chains and everything really done nicely, and they are lighter weight, so they're not like a heavy, you know, type of metal, but they are, you know, definitely do get the job done. So I really do, you know, enjoy this display base. Actually, the three figures, the three Universal Monster figures, all have really nice bases. So, and but with that out of the way, let's jump into the monster himself, the man of the hour. So for his paint scheme, so you know he's got that really pale color. Some figures, you know, in some forms will make it more of a greenish color. This is a very pale color, or you know, at best a very pale green. You know, in a way, but you know, you do see this coloration for his skin tone quite often, other than the greenish color. Looks really, really nice. You've got the he's got the black hair, of course, very signature of him, and then of course you got the sort of deep red for some of the scars on his face and around like the lips and stuff, just to kind of give it some extra pop for the detail. And sort of white and black eyes there, but very, very like a very droopy, sleepy look though that they gave him. And then the bolts, little bit of an odd choice. I don't know if it's like paint slop or something, but the bolts should be more of a metallic look, you know, since they are, you know, bolts, as opposed to almost sort of the skin color that's bleeding off on them. So I don't know if it's just this figure in particular, but I did get it. It was sealed in package, all three of them, where I bought them from the same seller on eBay. But anyways, though, and then also on the skin color as well, you can see some shading of some, you know, some darker colors as well here, I guess to signify like dirt, you know, since he was raised back from the dead, the bodies that were stitched together to make the monster. So, and yes, I always refer to him as the Frankenstein monster, not Frankenstein, because that is the technical correct term. And then you've got some sort of like a grayish color here for those sort of pieces that connect between the wrist and the arm there. Right there, as you can see, those bars there. Not so much on the other side, but you got them there, and you got the black for the fingernails, which look really good, give it really dirty look. And that's again, you know, with the shading on the skin as well, to give them a very dirty look. It looks really nice. The jacket itself here is in sort of a greenish grayish color, I would say, like a combination of a greenish gray. You know, it's more gray, I would say, than green, but it's got a green, definitely greenish tint to it. Looks nice. The shirt underneath, and yes, this is like a soft plastic, so you can move it. It's a bit malleable there, and it's got like a nice black shirt underneath there. Looks really, really cool. And then, of course, sort of, again, kind of matching in with the jacket, sort of, again, a greenish gray for the pants, but the pants are a little more green color than the jacket, I would say. The jacket's more gray. The pants are more green. Looks nice though, and then of course you get the black for the boots. Really, really nice job. Well, for the paint overall, other than some slops here and there, like for the bolts and all that. But really nice shading, etc., etc. Detail work really, really captures the look of the monster very well. So you can definitely tell it's the Frankenstein monster, and especially so from Bride of Frankenstein, because his hair was a bit different in the movie than the original film. It was more like this. So definitely captures that look really well. There again, you got the scarring, all the detail work on the face, that snarl that he's got really looks nice. Again, the bolts, the texturing on the skin looks really, really good. The jacket looks nice, and they captured all the details well. Hopefully my camera kind of stays in focus for you guys. I do apologize here. There we go. Looks really, really good. The shirt underneath looks nice. Captures look really well. The pants detailed very well, and you got wrinkles in them and everything, like on the knees, and elsewhere here, where you would expect to see wrinkles on the pants with somebody wearing them. Boots, a little bit plain on the boots, but they still, get the job done, I think. There's back side of him here. You can see the slot underneath, which is a little bit of an eyesore if you're just displaying him as is, but most likely you're not going to display him like that. You're going to have him like that, so it's not too big of a deal. But again, this is part of the gimmick, which we will get into very shortly. So that's the reason for that slot there on his back. But otherwise, looks really good. Again, the detail work for these bars on his arms here, all really captures that look, and you can even see all the detailing on the skin and whatnot. Really, really do enjoy this figure. Articulation, not too bad. It's somewhat basic, but it's not too bad. The head, I believe it's on a ball joint, or at least it feels it, unless it's just kind of a loose joint, but it does have tilt. You can look up that much. You can look down a little bit, not much. You can get side to side. You can get, not really all the way around. I wouldn't really recommend it, but you can definitely do side to side. Again, you got some tilt there, and definitely captures it, enough for the range of movement. I mean, he's not, doing too crazy, of looks with his face there. He's not doing anything too crazy, I should say. But, again, it's not bad. And anyways, so, and here you can see arms, which again, this kind of goes in with the gimmick as well, so you guys can kind of see what's going on already here. But yeah, they do connect in. Unfortunately, though, they kind of move together because of what is supposed to be going on here. But you can still move them up and down on their own. You can snap them like that. So you hear that ratchety click for them. The elbows have a hinge, so get some nice movement there. Very, very nice. The wrists just have a swivel, so it's not a ball joint, which would have been nice if they did have like a ball joint for the wrist, so you can get a little more range, but you're only going to get the rotation out of the wrists. But not terrible, not the worst in the world. At least it's something, though. You know what I mean? So to get some extra articulation. Now the legs, you can kick forward that much, kick back that much. Nothing out to the side, so these are not on any kind of hinge or ball joint or anything, so you're only getting the straight forward and back motion. And the ankles here are on a swivel only, so again, no sort of ball joint or anything. So, but it's an older, not the most recent of figures that have the more modern style articulation, you know what I mean? So because those include the better hinges and ball joints, and even the butterfly joints to get all that extra range of motion. These figures, these Universal Monsters figures by Jakks Pacific, were released in 2004, I believe, because they were supposed to coincide with the release of the Van Helsing film, and I believe Jakks Pacific also released some Van Helsing figures in particular as well. I do believe so. if any of you are interested in those, definitely look them up as well. I'm not, too crazy about those. I like my classic Universal monsters, and I like them to be in more of a horror type setting than a, action setting. Some of your, creatures, vampires, and, whatnot. I mean, some media is okay to having more of like an action-based thing, but, certain exceptions like that are, movies like the Blade movies and whatnot. But Blade was, based on a Marvel comic book anyway, so it's forgivable. But some of the others are kind of hit and miss on. Underworld's kind of I prefer the classics, but that's just me personally. Oh, and actually I did forget one range of motion on the legs here. I do apologize. The knees are on a hinge. Simple hinge, but you get nice movement. Probably, it's probably a 90-degree bend, I would say. So you can see that there. So, oh, and the and the waist. So I missed a couple things. So the waist is on a swivel, and you can actually go all the way around with that. So I apologize, folks. I missed a couple pieces of articulation, but at least I caught them. Now for the last part here, the gimmick. So we're going to put him back in his chair. And again, I have to do this on camera, so I do apologize. I appreciate your patience. So we're going to hook these back on like so onto the wrist. And the other hand. And then you just kind of line up that back side there. Apologize about that. Just want to make sure, though, we're getting it right. There you go. So now you got to make sure that it goes in all the way. That's how you do it, folks. I do apologize about that. Unfortunately, you got a little bit loose there with the tripod. Hopefully it stays for the rest of the video. I do apologize, folks. Again, I do these all in one take, so it won't be won't be doing any edits. So anyway, though, so for the gimmick, so the lever in the back, again, pull it up and down, and he breaks with enough force. Again, I do apologize. I do apologize, folks. But with enough force, though, he does break it. So you got to line it up correctly, though. That's the only thing. I am so sorry, folks. I really do apologize here. Anyways, so you get the point, though. But yeah, so that's essentially what is going on there. So you line that up, and you're supposed to break the other one as well. It's supposed to come out, but it's in there pretty good. So anyway, definitely a neat little gimmick. So I appreciate it for what it's worth. Again, I do apologize about all the camera issues here with it falling over a couple times like that. But I appreciate you bearing with me. Anyway, so these figures, you can find them on eBay. I've even seen them on Amazon, although you're going to pay more on Amazon from what I've seen. On eBay, each of these figures, Frankenstein Monster, the Frankenstein Monster, Dracula, the Wolfman, I've seen them each go for around $50 or so, maybe a bit more. They do have black and white variants of them as well. I just, those are cool, but I just kind of like to see the stuff in, in color as far as in figure form goes. Movies, I like it in black and white, but the figures, I like having the color. So, but, I've seen them, yeah, 50, usually 50 and up, though. I haven't seen them as high as 100, but I have seen them over 50. So you've got to be, keep in mind, these are not the most commonplace figures. Again, I've hardly seen any reviews on them on eBay, or on YouTube, I should say, but definitely, in my opinion, well worth adding to the collection. Otherwise, though, I think that does about cover it. Oh, scale-wise, so the monster himself, I'd say he's... The Wolfman and the Dracula figures are probably in the 6-inch range, but they do kind of do nice scaling because the monster himself is probably more in like the 7 to 8-inch range, I would say. So he definitely does tower over the others. He looks really, really cool, really menacing. And just, in my opinion, a great addition to the collection, all these. So I definitely recommend it. And other than that, this about wraps it up. So I would like to thank you so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like and or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, ladies and gentlemen, until next time, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara. And have a happy, spooky Halloween.